Stress is a system problem, when it comes to business at least. From my 20 plus years experience as an entrepreneur, I can confirm this is so true, people. Or let's say it with a little bit more humor. If your business depends on you, you don't own a business. You have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. That's a quote from Michael Gerber. And by the way, this is a classic business book that you should check out. Basically, and this is the core teaching element of my coaching and both courses I sell, set up a company that depends much more on systems than on people, to the point that it can basically be handed over to anyone with the right instructions. Yes, it is also true that business building is by nature a work in progress, but a smart entrepreneur learns to break down the most important tasks and uses or basically sets up as many time-freeing systems as possible, and that from the start. Focusing on efficient effectiveness, how I call it, basically effectiveness before efficiency. I'll go into details a little bit later about this. So in this video, I will show you what are the minimum number and type of systems, basically the mandatory ones, the ones you absolutely need to use in your online business if you want to reach that passive income potential. A business that is 6 figures and beyond, but that will only require up from 10 to 15 hours max of work per week from you. So again, this is my goal for all my clients, help them build within the minimum time possible a purpose-driven business, that's also important. A business that also makes 6 figures and beyond, but that will end up requiring only 10 to 15 hours of work per week maximum from them. Hi, if it's your first time here, I'm Diana. I'm a serial entrepreneur and business mentor, and I help people build online businesses that gradually free their time. I help employees who want to become entrepreneurs or struggling business owners who are ready to change and improve, build a smart online business, automated, scalable, purpose-driven, by focusing on time-saving tactics and tools, eliminating unnecessary technology, and all the complicated strategies that they don't need. I would start by saying that although I'll give you a few recommendations regarding the technology, the specific apps I use for my business, my focus is to teach you the systems you need, not the apps. I believe this will help you become a much better entrepreneur than finding out, exact tools of trade, as they say. Again, I will share them too in this video as well as in other videos, and I'm also actually giving away a free PDF with all the apps I use, all the apps I love, if you sign up for my free training. But I noticed that too many of my fellow business coaches, they keep pushing people to use certain apps. For example, those they use basically, I suppose. Some are also affiliates for those apps, so maybe they have an extra incentive there, or maybe they just teach what they know. One comes to mind especially. He keeps insisting on Kajabi as a course hosting platform, for example. And not only that's kind of expensive, but you don't need it. Any focus on the apps is not helpful, I believe. Why I say this? Well, first of all, as you can imagine yourself, I suppose, apps, they simply change. And most are extremely similar. They offer either the same or very similar benefits and features, which means, generally speaking, with only a few exceptions, I would say very, very few exceptions, you definitely don't need to use one over the other. On the other hand, if you want time freedom, you do need to learn to use systems and SOPs, standard operating procedures, and also become as good as possible evaluating the different tech options the market offers, but only for the purpose of making these systems more performant, like more effective, more efficient, okay? Only for the sake of your systems. I occasionally mention the apps I use and I like in my videos, as I said before, but that's because they are very inexpensive. Most of them are free, and they offer amazing benefits for their free versions. But even in these cases, they may change with time, which is why I don't intend to focus on recommending apps or a specific technology. On the other hand, you will benefit a lot if I show you the smart systems and strategies that can transform your business, building you time freedom gradually again. So now would be a good time to hit the subscribe button if that's a topic you want to know more about. Building your time freedom through your online business. Also, stay till the end if you want to hear my bonus tip on this subject. If you've been following me for a while, I believe in minimalism. all over, business included, keeping things simple and effective. And as I said so many times before, effective comes before efficient. Doing the right things before doing these things the right way is critical. For example, you may not be great yet, at certain tasks that you're doing for your business, but if they are the right tasks, you'll see some results from working on these specific tasks. On the other hand, it doesn't matter how good you are if the tasks you are focusing on are the wrong ones for the business stage you happen to be in. I hope you get this. So the business framework I use in both my mini course, my signature course, and my coaching is very simple. I believe it's the simplest on the market, really. If you find another one that beats it, please let me know. It's made of answer, audience, amplification, 3A. And then the fourth A is automation, which applies to all the 3 A's above. My aim is to automate up to 80% of my business, for example, and I'm working on that, including with my digital course business. And finally, 5, accountability, the 5th A, for those who need it, and that would be the high majority based on my experience. So let's dive in. If you want a passive income potential, then automation should transcend every phase of your business. Just simple logic, right? And here are the 5 essential systems, again, not apps, that should come with their own SOPs, standard operating procedures, and which define automation. While they actually apply to many online business models, my focus, as with my courses, is on building an online business around the digital course product, around the digital course model. And I'm explaining in details why I believe this is one of the fastest but also most sustainable long-term ways to profit when it comes to online businesses. So which are the top, also the mandatory and minimum required systems that you should consider for your online business? First of all, your setup system, course and online presence. Second, your production system, as it relates to your course and content marketing. Third, your sales system. Fourth, your traffic system. And finally, your workflow system. The curious thing I notice here is that too many of the smart entrepreneurs who understand the value of automation, they think about it, they implement it, but they do it up to a certain point. Very few have a good system for all the 5 purposes I mentioned above: setup, production, sales, traffic, and workflow. Some, for example, have great setup and sales systems, but a quite weak traffic one, or a non-existent production or workflow system, for example. And that's probably the worst, when a business owner doesn't have an automated workflow system or doesn't have an automated production system. It gets very easily overwhelming. I discovered the value of automation and SOPs with my first business. In fact, I credit a big part of our successes and the fact that we're winning so many accounts to the standard operating procedures of my business, which even our clients were required to follow right from the start. Yeah, that's right. Before signing a contract with us, and you don't even want to know how many started, by raising their eyebrows at first, but then later they turn into fans of our company, after seeing the results they've got. And not to mention that even the most reluctant of our clients, they came back to us years later to say that our agency was the best and most effective in handling their projects. Main reason for this, the fact that we used amazing SOPs and systems. So which systems out of the 5 mentioned do you need for the first 2 A's, answer and audience? First of all, of course, you need to select your business idea, model and audience. And then second, you need to set up your systems. And the first 3 systems apply to these 2 first A's, answer and audience. Your setup system, when it comes to your course and your online presence. Your production system, this time when it comes to your course only, because we will talk about content marketing when we talk about the 3rd A, amplification, sales and marketing, which is the next point. And then your sales system. And here I mean only your sales page, because again, the selling part, the selling process, we'll talk about it at the next point, at amplification, marketing and sales. But before I go into details about these systems, just a quick reminder here that you can only set them up after, of course, you have selected your business idea and your business model. So assuming you know your business idea, assuming you know your model and audience, niche, and by the way, value alignment should be a must here. Check out my video on how to select your business idea to make sure it's for the long term. and also my free training, okay, because it gives you a lot of information, especially if you're just starting out, and specific exercises to identify your best top ideas and models. And assuming your choice in terms of business model is the digital course model, this is the one I'll be talking about in this video, and also the one that I'm teaching via my courses. Very quickly here, why have I chosen this model over the others? Well, because it's a model that ranges high on all my 6 business criteria: profitability, scalability, long-term potential, financial accessibility, implementation speed, and technological simplicity. In my free training, check out the link below, I explain in detail why I chose this model, and I also compare the 7 most important online business models on these 6 mentioned criteria, so you get to learn how to think about business models in one day, by the way. That will help you a lot, I believe, down the line as an entrepreneur. So now let's talk about setting up your systems, specifically the first 3 that apply to answer and audience. What's the main rule you should remember here? Well, I call it minimum viable everything for each of the 5 systems mentioned. Now let's see what each system implies in terms of technology, if we want to keep it at a minimum. System number 1, setup for your course and your online presence, your site. 1 app should be enough here. So 1 app mainly for this specific system. In my mini course, I give detailed explanations why, for example, building your digital course business on WordPress is not probably the best idea. It will quickly become complex in terms of technology, and it will require time and money to maintain it, not to mention potential failures, on loss of business if you fail to make all the required updates, or if for some reason your payment gate defaults. In my mini course, I'm also explaining why I wouldn't use just YouTube and email to deliver the course lessons to my clients, as some business coaches teach. So my recommendation here is use a good value for money course hosting app. And there are many. And yes, most have a price attached, but this one investment is worth its value. All the maintenance is included, of course, same for the financial part, and your product, all the lessons, all the course tools will look and will be delivered in a professional way. You will be able to keep better track of your students. The setup is really easy and user-friendly, even for people with no tech savviness. So which one? From Teachable, Kajabi, Thinkific, Podia, Contra, Newsletter, Members Vault, etc., etc. In my mini course, I explain why I'm using Teachable and not Kajabi, for example, and not any other with funnel at the end for hosting my course lessons and for my course sales page. So feel free to compare and use the one that makes sense for you. But just be aware that some people end up wasting months doing this comparison, okay, which is a complete waste of time. They offer the same things, more or less, and for those who don't offer everything, you have many other free options on the market that can be added to this main app, to compensate. But once again, you shouldn't need them, okay? So please don't waste your time with the comparing part. Also, one more tip here, don't sign up for the most expensive one, okay? Especially when you start out. It's simply a big waste of money and time, I would say, because, usually they are more complicated. So why a course hosting app? Let's summarize. First of all, for making your course look professional, organizing your content, managing student accounts, logins, unlimited video hosting, unlimited courses at no additional cost. You have your built-in sales pages, they are very easy to build. You have the payment processing included, and you have the course discussion management included as well. Finally, to set up your branding. With the minimal approach that I teach, including for branding, in my courses and my coaching, you get a simplified brand deck template, which doesn't require any help or any additional investment. These days you have all the free tools you need to create an excellent branding, including your logo, for free. And I also give my clients time frames for each step, so they never get to waste too much time with their branding. Believe it or not, some people get lost into this as well. 2, production system. For your course for now. As mentioned before, this system will be used a lot for your content marketing, which is part of your amplification, marketing and sales, and we'll talk about that at the next point. But the course is part of your answer, okay? So what do you need here? Well, it depends on the type of digital course you are going to sell, but for most, It will include ideation, writing, filming and editing if you're using video, and I highly recommend you do, even if you're not in it, and distributing for both the course and the content marketing. And here, there are so many possibilities of apps that I won't even, go into details. For example, I'm using an app called Loom to film both myself and my screen, the free version, by the way. I'm using iMovie for editing. I'm using Canva, like everyone else, for design. I'm also using Visme, also for design, because I find it a bit more sophisticated than Canva. All free versions. But I could change anytime. What's important here is that you write your standard operating procedures for each of the stages that I'm talking about, that I mentioned above, and that create your production system. So when it comes to production, I keep it as simple as possible, same as with all the others, and as I mentioned before. In my mini course, I give you all the tools and all the apps I'm using, how I use them, and most of them are free. I film with my phone, by the way, and my laptop camera. I use a ring light, which is below $50 if I remember well. Investing in an additional mic is also a good idea, so that could be a tool that you need. Please keep this one also below $100 max. I've been editing myself, my videos, until recently. I'm sure you can tell. But I'm in process of hiring someone, actually, testing people out, which means that this person will be part of my workflow system. System number 3, sales system. And we are only talking about the sales page in this part, because it's part of your answer. And we already have it, it's set up basically through your course hosting app, as I mentioned before. So nothing more for this system at this phase. Now, second point, amplification, your marketing and sales, which is my third A in my business framework. The systems that apply to amplification, to your marketing and sales, are the last 4. Your production system again, but this time when it comes to your content marketing, not your course, your sales system, your traffic system, and your workflow system. Very important again because it links all the other systems. Main rule I have here, same rule. I keep it to a minimum. The process I'm using is also simplified to the max. It includes 3 phases. First, you need to test the marketing channels and platforms. Second, you need to select based on what works for your brand, what works for your audience too, and what you also enjoy using on a regular basis. 3, you need to set up your systems and your SOPs, which by the way will also dramatically improve your consistency, which is a key element, should be a key element for your marketing. Again, same as with the above point, you can't build your systems and your SOPs without first going through a minimum test and then marketing channels and marketing platforms selection, basically where you're going to promote your answer, your offer. In my course, I explain all my best marketing strategies and tactics, like, the need to always include a search engine in your mix of platforms. The fact that you should always start first with organic marketing and only after go into paid marketing. Paid advertising is an accelerator, not an initiator. You need to make sure people buy your offer before you invest into scaling your offer, into making ads. But this is not the topic here. In this video, we just talk about the systems you will need to have in your business in order to gradually increase your time freedom. So, the systems that apply to your marketing and sales, your third A, amplification, are, as I was saying, system number 2, your production system. This time, when it comes to your content marketing, the same apps that I use for my course creation, I'm using for my content marketing creation. Again, all of them are in the mini course, and most of them are also in my free PDF, part of my free training. What I've added here are the apps for repurposing some of my content. For example, I create a YouTube long form video, and I may use a repurposing app to make that content suitable for other platforms that I use: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. And there are many to choose from here. I said I may because I prefer to use a freelancer for this specific task, at least for now, instead of a repurposing app. Perhaps it may sound less automated, but with good SOPs, the results are much better. The editing looks better, sometimes my content is enhanced, etc. So your production SOPs, standard operating procedures, should be as clear as possible, whether you use an app, a freelancer, or both, as in many cases. And even if you just use an app, you should have a standard operating procedure that outlines what the app is supposed to do for you, okay? What's the outcome you're looking for? System number 3, sales, your sales system. I have a couple of top strategies here, including an application process, and it's all detailed in my mini course, which are the SOPs in this case. I'm not using any additional app for my sales process except Calendly, so people don't book the same slot when they want to talk to me, for example. And also I use the free version. But here again, there are others that you can choose from. System number 4, your traffic system. What's the system here? Basically automating the process that sends traffic to your offer, to your answer, and the process of warming up this traffic. That's very important. Except the apps related to all the platforms of choice for me, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, etc. for now, where I use all the main features, their groups, communities, the ad managers, stories, etc. I'm not using any additional apps for my traffic. But for warming up my audience, I use, of course, an ESP, email service provider, an email app that is free and includes automation as well in its free version. Top choice here is, so I promised I would tell you when one app deserves more attention than others, and this one does it for me. Why? Is the only one, from what I know at least, which includes automation in its free version. Basically, you can build your automated sequences for your emails at no extra cost. It's friendly also, very user-friendly. They have great tutorials and resources, a great customer service. So the best experience for me so far. But of course, this may change. Again, what's important here is that you include in your traffic system a good value for money ESP, email service provider. Automating your traffic, meaning building a great traffic system, is crucial, especially the warming up part. And I explain why in my mini course with my visual summary on email marketing and its incredible return on investment and many benefits if you do it well. Of course, once you start your ads and you see what works, you can build an amazing automated sales machine for your ads too, with detailed SOPs that you will just need to adjust and improve from time to time, of course, if the platform changes its algorithms. Finally, system number 5. Your workflow system, the system that links all the other systems, making them work together smoothly and includes communication with everyone else, clients, freelancers, employees. The 2 main apps I'm currently using for this system are Asana as a to-do system and Dropbox to organize my files. But I could switch anytime. I could use Google Drive instead of Dropbox, and I could use Trello, Notion, Monday, Teamwork, etc. There are many to choose from here. I looked at Asana and I like the dashboard, so that's why I use it. I didn't spend too much time comparing apps, to be honest, on this specific point, because I knew that Asana covers all that I need. I can allocate tasks, for example, easily. Deadlines are clear. SOPs, documents needed for freelancers, they have everything they need in one place. I can evaluate the progress, mine and the ones of the people that I employ. I can communicate via the app as well if I want to. I can have my tasks listed, every day. I get notifications from my team members and so on, all using the free version. What's critical here when it comes to your workflow system is that you draft amazing SOPs. As explained at the beginning of this video, it's not the above apps which will make the difference, but the quality of your SOPs, standard operating procedures, detailing the workflow of your online business. So my advice, take all the time needed and build excellent ones, and you will be amazed what impact they will have on your business down the line. Okay, so that's it, folks, regarding the main systems and apps you need, at least during the initial phase of building a digital course business that is set up the right way from the start to build your time freedom, to gradually create time freedom for you. Not to mention to keep you consistent, and consistency is a key for your success. But because I talked about one more A, accountability, I just want to add a couple more recommendations here. During the first 2 years of your business, you will need to learn a lot, especially if you are new to entrepreneurship. And most people, will also need some sort of accountability. Most. There is a small minority which doesn't, but really, really small according to statistics. How do you make sure you get the best here? When it comes to learning, when it comes to accountability? Well, there are 2 ways mainly. So courses and mentors. I know it's hard, but please take your time and do a little research. I bought many courses just because I wanted to compare them. You don't need to do the same, but just watch the free stuff from those you want to buy from. Don't buy without a minimum research. Also, please stay away from all who tell you you will be a millionaire in 3 months or so. Those are scammers, and the online world is unfortunately full of them. The internet is wonderful and I think it's incredible in terms of opportunities, but it is also dangerous for those who are naive and uninformed. So before you buy a course or before you enroll in a coaching mentorship program, I suggest you join these people private communities, for example, if they have one, and see what they teach. Or you check, as much as you can from their free stuff. Communities, they are gold if they're active. Not just that they may offer the much needed accountability, again, if they are active and engaged, but it's much more fun when you're part of a group of people who are on the same journey as you, that's for sure. By the way, you can also join my community here if you want, because I organize small accountability challenges from time to time, and I'm also open to anyone posting, including my competitors, as long as they offer some value. And believe me, this is kind of rare on the internet. Most coaches I know don't allow anyone else to talk except themselves, which I think it's a pity for everything, including for their engagement, but that's their choice. And when you join such a community, try to balance your presence there. Start by giving, and only after taking. And be honest and authentic and share your struggles. Ask for help. If you do, your chances to succeed will definitely increase. Now, in my mini course, I cover all the above and much more. The Time Saving Hustle mini course is basically a step-by-step guide to create more time freedom through your online business. You will learn how to choose a business idea that is purpose-driven and also sustainable long-term, and that you will be excited to work on long-term. That's important, people, believe me. Second, you will learn how to turn this idea into a scalable, automated online business that will increasingly free your time, creating time freedom rather than burnout. Basically, the exact steps with detailed recommendations, technology and tools, the steps you need to follow to start a digital course business in up to 4 months. 3. You will also learn how to work smarter, which should come before working harder, as explained in this video, by automating everyday tasks with smart yet minimal strategies and technology when it comes to content, technology and branding. Finally, number 4, we'll also talk about the common online traps that you need to know, and there are many, unfortunately, these days. Plus, much more, why many businesses fail, for example, to build a strong foundation, resulting in a complete loss of time and money on advertising, the evergreen model versus launch model, and how to use both, etc., etc. And if you are not sure yet about your idea, your model, your niche, just please don't miss my free training. I am convinced it will help you understand some key untold truths about the industry, as well as help you become sure about what you want to build, which I think is essential for your success. Now, drum rolls, please. The bonus tip that I promised. I promise if you stick till the end, I'll give you some bonus tips about what it takes to succeed in building a passive income type of online business. Basically, it's a more subtle trap related to hiring and following a mentor. And it may sound unimportant, but believe me, it almost derailed me as well. So, what's the trap? So many people, they end up completely procrastinating because they are following more than 3 mentors at a time, more than 2 mentors at a time. They get confused because each one, says different things, and they end up procrastinating. Or they end up hiring mentors with whom they don't have much in common. They have no shared values, for example. So when it comes to mentors, I would first select maximum 3 on the topic, of my research. Maybe one big and the others medium in terms of influence. And I would watch their free stuff and do a minimum research, and then I would select 1, maximum 2 to follow long term and implement or buy from. Again, make sure you do some research first. If you can find a person aligned with your life values, that will make a big difference, I believe. But once you select, and unless you discover some, big issues related to their teachings, just stick to the 1 or to the 2 you chose, okay? At least for a while, because following too many, even if you don't hire them, just reading their stuff, could become a trap. You will get confused unnecessarily and you will end up procrastinating maybe instead of making progress, real progress. Especially if you are new and especially if you can't discern very quickly their level of expertise. There are many ways for you to build a profitable online business and many can teach you how to do it. So just follow up, implement what your chosen mentor teaches you. And remember, even if you don't make it from the first time, okay, learning how to build an asset like a smart online business is really worth all efforts, I believe. Until next time, I wish you all the best in your entrepreneurial journey.